In this video, I'm going to teach you the 3-finger technique, which is going to assist you with impressing the subconscious mind and using auto-suggestion. Whether you're using affirmations or you're scripting or you're visualizing, mentally rehearsing, or whatever you're trying to do to create a feeling state, fall asleep doing something and changing the simulation that you're living in, shifting worlds into a different world in the multiverse, then this is going to help you 100 times. This is going to help you create a feeling state that's 100 times more powerful if you weren't using at all. And in this video, I'm going to cover this in detail. I'm going to break it down completely. So make notes, get ready, and here we go. All right, so the 3-finger technique. Jose Silva stated that any auto-suggestion that is intended for change of oneself, meaning affirmations, imaginal acts, or scripting, or etc., is 100 times more powerful when done in alpha and theta brainwaves as opposed to beta. And I'm also, at the end of this video, I'm going to link a meditation, a free meditation, a card on the screen that you can use that has alpha and theta brainwaves into them. So after we get through the technique and I explain everything to you, that's what I want you to use and download it and use it as you're trying to manifest things. You can use them. You can use it throughout the day. You can use it at night. You can use it in the morning, whenever you are. But it's going to put you in alpha and theta brainwave. So this is going to create a more powerful feeling state, 100 times more powerful when done using these brainwaves. All right, so this is why a lot of people struggle with affirmations when they recite them, because they are in beta. They're not in alpha. They're not in theta. All right, so when they recite them in the middle of the day while their brain is fully awake and in beta brainwaves, their senses are denying the reality of what they seek. Jose Silva's research led to the conclusion that this resistance of the mind towards new and better suggestions can be bypassed by simply going into deeper states of mind, which is alpha and theta. And here are the brain waves here. It begins with gamma, which is 25 to 100 hertz. Then you go to beta, and then you go to alpha, then theta, and then delta. Okay, so the subconscious mind is delta. Theta is sleep. Alpha is when you are deeply receptive and in a relaxed state. And beta, you're completely awake. So you are reacting to the sensory impression world. The 3-dimensional world has your attention. So it's really difficult for you to believe, that your reality is something totally different, and you're manifesting, you're creating a new version of yourself and disregarding everything in your world. It can be more difficult in beta. But when you get into alpha, which is why I'm going to put that card on the screen for you to the alpha and the theta frequencies. That way you can plug into those during the day. They're absolutely free, and they're here on YouTube. They're on my channel on YouTube, and I will link those. You can listen to them anytime that you want for absolutely free. But they're going to assist you, and I have designed them specifically exactly to these techniques that he's covering right here. So delta is subconscious, theta is sleep, alpha is relaxed receptive mode. And beta is completely awake. Alpha and theta are the brain waves associated with the state akin to sleep that Neville Goddard says is the key to prayer. They are relaxed, meditative states of mind. Our goal here is to be able to instantly enter these deeper levels of consciousness on command, okay? To be able to instantly enter these deeper levels on command, Jose Silva recommends using the 3-finger technique. It is a very simple technique that allows us to enter deeper states at any given moment. 3 fingers used in this technique are simply triggers. We are going to reprogram the brain to deeper states by simply bringing our 3 fingers together. Here is how it is done. Step 1, enter into alpha meditative state. To use this state, start by playing alpha sounds 7 to 14s with your headphones on. Put your body in a relaxed and comfortable position, sitting in a lotus pose, laying in bed, or reclining in a chair, etc. Close your eyes, start taking deep breaths. Silva also recommends raising eyes to 20 degrees above horizontal line. So as if you are trying to look at your eyebrows. So you're closing your eyes and you're looking up slightly like you're looking at your eyebrows. All right, so for reasons unknown to scientists to this day, this eye positioning helps induce the alpha state. Now start counting down in 2-second intervals. It's recommended to start at 100, and then as you progress, you can count down from 50, 20, and then 10. So as you get better at this, you will be able to get into this alpha and theta state, this receptive state, much easier, much faster. So you're going to start at 100, but eventually, or very, very soon, very quickly, you'll get down to 50, then 20, then 10, and you'll be able to, within 10 seconds, you'll be able to get into this alpha state. And also the 2-second intervals. So if you're counting down, I'm going to give you an example of this to help you. All right. So if you're counting down from 100 the very first time, you're going to wait basically 2-second intervals before you count down to 99. So 100, 99, and then you wait 2 seconds, 98, and then you count all the way down to 1 in 2-second intervals. And also say this to yourself: I am now counting down from 100 to 1. And when I reach 1, I will instantly enter my deep state. All right. So you're making this declaration. You're affirming this with the subconscious. You are now commanding the subconscious to do this. So as soon as you're done, you are basically putting yourself in, you're believing, you're consenting this to be true. You're making this imprint with the subconscious. And when you count down, when you get to a 1, you are going to be in alpha state. You're going to be in your deep state, ready for receptivity. So when you reach 1, simply assume you are in alpha and relaxed. It is a simple process that requires very, very little practice. Step 2, program the trigger. Once you are in your deep state, join your 3 fingers by bringing the thumb and first fingers together and say this to yourself. So just like this, you bring your thumb and your 2 fingers together, just like this. All right. So whenever and then you're going to make this declaration. You're making another impression here. Okay. This is the trigger that you're creating. Whenever I join my fingers together like this, now join them. Everyone do that. Join them now. When you're watching this video, join them together. Make the trigger now so you remember this. This is an imprint from this video. We're making this subconscious imprint right now that you're actually gonna do this, and you're going to take advantage of this technique. All right, so join them together. Now join them for a serious purpose. You're gonna say this: when I join my fingers together like this, for a serious purpose, I will instantly reach this level of mind to accomplish whatever I desire. So you're in this state. You've counted down from 100 to 1. You're in alpha state. You're in this receptive state. Then you connect. All right. So now you're making this trigger so you can get into this state whenever you want, just by doing this. Whenever you're manifesting, whenever you're affirming, you have the trigger now. You have the power right here. You've made the imprint. So stay in your deep state as long as you desire. Step 3, getting out of the deep state. So when you want to get out of the deep state, this is what you do. You say to yourself, I will count from 1 to 5. When I reach 3, I will awake. When I reach 5, I will be fully awake, energized, and feeling better than before. To make this a permanent trigger, repetition will come to your aid. As we know, repetition. So if you don't solidify your triggers the first time, doesn't mean you give up, okay? If it doesn't work the first time, it doesn't mean you just throw in the towel and say, this doesn't work. The law of assumption doesn't work. The law of attraction doesn't work. I'm going to go eat honey buns and watch Netflix. No, you're going to continue. Repetition. Keep doing this. Use these triggers. It will work. If you do this properly with repetition, you will make these triggers. You will be able to get into alpha, these deep states, and create very powerful feeling states and shift and change the simulation that you're living in. This is what it's designed for. All right. This is designed to, you're living in a simulation. We've covered this. Everyone watching this understands this. And this is one of the ways to change it. It's also what you fall asleep with at night, but it's also, as you're falling asleep, you go into alpha and theta. That's why it's a receptive part of the day. That's why Neville Goddard covered out when you go to sleep at night, because that's when you go into alpha. That's when you go into theta. That's when you go into delta. That's the most receptive time to create feeling states. And that's what this trigger is doing for you during the day, or whenever you want to. You're in this relaxed state, and then you can make impressions with the subconscious mind of being the new version of you right now. All right. So to make this a permanent trigger, repetition will come to your aid. Repeat this exercise for 40 days. It may not even take that long. Don't get scared. It may take 3 days. It may take 1 day. It may take 1 time. It may take 10 days. It may take 60 days. Don't give up, because it's worth it. It's worth it. Unless your world is perfect right now, do not give up, because you can get there. First 10 days you count. Okay, so when you first start out here, you're going to count from 100 to 1. But as you go, you're going to count down from 50, 20, and 10 because you're solidifying your ability to get into this state with these triggers, okay? So day 11 to 20, you count down from 50 to 1. Day 21 to 30, you count down from 20 to 1. And remember, take notes of all this or come back to this video. Day 31, we actually have a graph here at the end too. I'm going to show you. Day 31 to 40, countdown 10 to 1. Okay, so once you have successfully created this permanent trigger right here, permanent trigger, you have access to your deep state at your fingertips, literally at your fingertips. All right, so now you can recall any information or memory, relax access, or you can relax, access creativity, and enter the flow state. Enter the flow state. So essentially that's what you're doing here. Is this another way to get into flow state? All right, so you can get into it on command, programming your flow state trigger. This is your flow state trigger. I should make another video on that flow state trigger and doing it the other ways too, but this is a really powerful technique here. All right, so this is your graph here. Oh, let me move this. Let me pull this down so you can see this. All right, so if you want to come back and make a note of this, screenshot it or take a picture of this. All right, you got 100 to 1, day 1. This is your graph here, 10 days, then 20, 30, 40. And then after 30 days, you'll be doing 10 to 1. You'll have a permanent trigger. It may not take that long, but if it does, continue and persist. Persist. All right, so that's the end of this video. I hope you took notes. Go back as much as you need to, write everything you need to know about this. And I'm going to link those cards to the alpha waves that are going to assist you as well in getting into this alpha and theta. So plug into those as well as you're doing this when you're making these triggers, because then later you're not going to have to use them. You can instantly get into this alpha state because you're just starting with this repetition and creating this state. And then you make the trigger, the imprint while you're listening to the alpha and the theta, then you won't always need them after that, or continue to use them if you enjoy them. Either way, they're going to work. It's going to work. You're going to have the triggers. All right, so I'm going to put that card on the screen for everyone. I'm going to put a couple different cards on the screen so you choose. And you can also go to my playlist on my sleep meditations, which I have daytime meditations and sleep meditations that have alpha and theta and delta. But I'll put a couple on the screen for you. They're absolutely free. Download those as soon as you get them so you have access to them very quickly. All right, I love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to give me one thing you are grateful for. Like and subscribe. I love you. I'll see you in the next one.